Rosie, what's wrong, Doji? Why do you look so tense?
And today I have class from cell biology and I don't know anything about it.
Kimi, Doji. It's so easy. You're gonna love it. Come on. So, guys, have you ever wondered what living things are made of? Hello, everyone. This is Jampal Zamu, and in this video, me and my team is going to explain you all on the topic the cell and its brief introduction to cell theory. In our lower classes, we have already learned what cell is. So if I define it, cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. It is the smallest unit of life which has the capable of performing necessary functions like metabolism, growth, reproduction, and response to stimuli. So do you know who discovered the cell? It was Robert Hooke who discovered the cell in 17th century. So there are mainly two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are the primitive cells that lack nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. And in terms of eukaryotic, it is a little bit advanced compared to the prokaryotic, which has nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. So if you guys have forgotten what it actually means, let's revise it together in this video. So under eukaryotic cells, there are again two types of cells. It is plant cell and animal cell. And their main difference is that in plant cells they have cell wall and chloroplast, whereas the animal cell doesn't have. So I am going to briefly explain the functions of cell organelles in animal cell. Firstly, the cell membrane. It is semi-permeable membrane that regulates the passage of materials in and out of the cell. So it's more of like a gatekeeper. The next, mitochondria. It is also known as the powerhouse of cell, as it is responsible for production of energy in the form of ATP through cellular respiration. Number three, the Golgi complex. It is also important organelle in the cell where it functions in critical cell growth, development, and communication with the external environment. In terms of lysosome, it contains enzymes that break down the waste material and foreign invaders. And the next, ribosome, it helps in synthesizing proteins. And in terms of nucleus, it contains genetic material that is DNA, which helps in cellular activities. And in terms of centrioles, it helps in organizing the microtubules, and it also helps in cell division and formation of cilia and flagella. And it is not present in plant cell, and that makes the unique character of animal cell object. The last one, endoplasmic reticulum. It connects cell membrane and nuclear membrane. And there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. They are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So in terms of rough, there are ribosomes attached to it, and in smooth, there isn't any ribosomes attached to it. So to begin with our main topic, there are basically three principles in cell theory. They are all living things are composed of cells. Cell is the basic unit of life. Cells arise from pre-existing cells. So on completion of this video, you will be able to learn these three principles thoroughly.
In this section of this video, you will be learning about the first principle of the cell theory, which says that all living organisms are made of cells.
Welcome to our exploration of cell theory, the cornerstone of modern biology. Let's delve into its first principle, shaping our understanding on the life itself. In the 17th century, Robert Hooke made a groundbreaking discovery while examining a thin slice of coal. He observed tiny compartments which he called cells marking the dawn of cell theory. Around the same time, Anton van Leeuwenhoek peered into drops of water and observed microorganisms, further supporting the idea that life consists of tiny fundamental units. Fast forward to the 19th century, Mathis Charlton and Theodor Sackmann proposed the first principle of cell theory. All living organisms are composed of one or more cells. Their proposals were backed up by compelling evidence, including observations of cellular structure and functions under the microscope. Today, the implications of the principles are profound. Our understanding of biology, from genetics to medicine, hinges on the concept of cellular organization. From diagnosing diseases to engineering new treatments, cell theory continues to shape advancements in biotechnology and medicine. The universality of the cells refers to the consistency of cellular structure and function across diverse forms of life. The concept is exemplified by the principles of cell theory. All living organisms are composed of cells. From bacteria to multicellular organisms like humans, the presence of cells is universal. For example, bacteria consist of single prokaryotic cells, while humans are composed of numerous eukaryotic cells organized into tissues and organs. The cell is the basic unit of structure and function in organizations. Regardless of size or complexity, cells serve as the fundamental units of life. For instance, in a complex organism like a human, cells form tissues such as muscle or nerve tissues, each with specialized functions. Examples of universality: prokaryotic cells. Bacteria and archaea are examples of organisms composed of prokaryotic cells, which lack a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. Despite their simplicity, prokaryotic cells exhibit fundamental characteristics consistent with cell theory. Eukaryotic cells, like plants, animals, fungi, and protists, characterized by a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles such as mitochondria and the endoplasmic reticulum. Despite their diversity, eukaryotic cells share common features reflecting the principles of cell theory.
To start with the second principle of cell theory, it states that cell is the basic unit of life. This idea was proposed by Matthias Jakob Schleiden and Theodor Schoen in the mid-19th century, which highlights the remarkable complexity packed within these tiny units. Now, let's delve deeper into why cell deserves this title. Number 1. Building blocks of life. Imagine a Lego set. Individual Lego pieces are small and simple, but when combined, they create a magnificent structures. Similarly, all living things, from towering trees to the microscopic bacteria, all are built from cells. These cells act as the fundamental building blocks, providing structures and carrying out the basic functions that define life. Number 2. Functional powerhouses. Cells are not merely static building blocks. They are dynamic and self-contained units capable of performing all the essential functions needed for life, including respiration, nutrition, growth and repair, excretion, metabolism, and reproduction. Number 3. Organized complexity. Within a cell, a multitude of specialist structures called organelles work together in a symphony of life. Each organelle has a specific function, such as the nucleus, which serves as the control center containing the genetic material DNA, and the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell where energy production takes place. Number 4. Diversity and specialization. While all cells share some basic features, there is a remarkable diversity. Multicellular organisms like humans have specialized cells for specific tasks, like muscle cells contract for movement, skin cells provide protection, nerve cells transmit information, and red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. This specialization allows organisms to perform complex functions essential for survival. Number 5. The foundations for life. The ability of cell to function independently, even when isolated from the organism, further highlights their significance. This principle underpins the various biological processes like wound healing, where the individual cells work together to repair the damaged tissue. To sum up, the concept of cell as the fundamental unit of structure and function in living organisms is more than just a scientific fact. It reflects the remarkable complexity packed within these microscopic marvels. From building the basic structure of living beings to carrying out the life-sustaining processes, cells are the tireless workers that orchestrate the symphony of life.
I will explain the third principle of cell theory, that is, cell arise from pre-existing cell. This principle is proposed by Rudolf Virchow in 1855, and this principle states that all cells arise only from pre-existing cells through cell division, such as mitosis and meiosis. And this principle can be supported by observing the division of cell, where parent cell divides into two or more daughter cells, each daughter cell containing a full set of genetic materials and cellular components necessary for independent function and replications. And this principle is also supported by Louis Pasteur's theory, in which he explains that a broth is a solution which contains nutrients for microorganisms to grow, and it is used in labs to grow microorganisms. And it's found that microorganisms grow in broth, but it's always been a debate of how the microorganisms get into the broth. And it is explained by Louis Pasteur that microorganisms grow because it's been exposed to microbes in the air which are too small to be seen by our naked eyes. And these microbes get into the broth and reproduces after consuming it. And to prove this, he designed a swan-necked flask which is designed in such a way that it would allow only the air or the heat to get into the flask, but would prevent any microorganisms from getting into the flask. And in his experiment, he boiled the broth to make sure that there is no microorganisms in the broth. And after heating it, it was left for a few days to cool it. And during this time, only the air or the heat could get into the flask or the broth, but any microorganisms that are present in the atmosphere are being trapped in the neck of the flask, so they are being prevented from entering into the broth. So no microorganism growths are found in the broth, since all the microbes are being trapped in the neck. But when they repeated this experiment with the neck of the flask broken, there were microorganism growth found, since it's been exposed to microbes in the environment. And with the help of this experiment, this principle also opposes the theory of spontaneous generation. And this principle also highlights the continuity of genetic information from one cell to its daughter cell, playing a vital role in inheritance, evolution, and transfusion of genetic traits.
Hello everyone, to conclude on cell and cell theory, the cell theory has transformed our understanding of life by proposing that all the organisms are made up of cells. Cell is a structural and functional unit of life. A cell comes from the pre-existing cells, and the cell theory has made a stable foundation in modern biology, and it is considered to be a stepping stone for the future scientific discovery. The cell theory focuses on three fundamental principles. Firstly, all the living organisms are composed of one or more cells. Secondly, the cell is a basic unit of structure and function in organisms, and all the cells arises from the pre-existing cell through the process of cell divisions. These principles were first proposed in the 19th century by the scientists such as Matthias Schilden, Theodor Schön, Rudolf Virchow, and they have built the foundations for the modern biology and provided a unifying framework for understanding the diversity of life on the earth. One of the most profound implications of the cell theory is its role in shaping our understanding of evolutions. By recognizing all living organisms are composed of the cell, scientists have been able to trace the evolutionary history of life through study of cellular structure and the processes. From the simplest single-cell organisms to the complex multicellular organisms that inhabit our planet today, the cells theory provides common thread that connects all the living cells and underscores the unity of life. Moreover, the cell theory has a profound implications for the medicines and biotechnology. By elucidating the fundamental principle governing cellular structure and function, researchers have been able to unlock a new avenue for treating diseases, developing novel therapies, and advancing our understanding of human health. Furthermore, the cell theory has a profound implications for our understanding of ecology and the environment. By recognizing the connection of all living organisms through the cellular composition, scientists have gained insight into the complex web of relationships that sustain life on the earth. From a nutrient cycling to the ecosystem to the role of microorganisms in global biochemical process, the cell theory provides a framework for understanding the integrated dynamic of natural world. In conclusion, the cell theory stands as one of the most profound and transformative ideas in the history of science. Its principles have not only transformed our understanding of biology, but have also far-reaching implications for the medicine, biotechnology, ecology, and beyond. As we continue to unveil the mystery of life at the cellular level, the legacy of cell theory serves as a reminder of the power of human curiosity, integrity, and the collaboration in advancing the understanding of our natural world. Thank you.